Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to write string type or variable value to the text file in Azure Data Factory. So every time what we want to do at the end of the pipeline, we want to write that values of what we have saved in the variable to the file, and we would like to create a new file or something like that. Maybe if it is used for logs or different scenarios could be there. But anyways, we are going to learn how to do that, and then you can use in your scenarios wherever you needed it. So this I was hoping this is not going to be complex, and maybe I am making it complex, but I try to find all different solution. I read a lot of blogs. I read, but I couldn't really find a nice working solution. So I finally end up creating my own solution, and I tested a few things. So first of all, let's go to container, and in this container I have two of sorry, let's go to blob storage, and then we went to the containers, and I have two containers. One is called input and second is called output. In the input container, what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload a template file. So this template file does not have a whole lot of data. It has only one value. So I just created this template.txt, and I'm going to show you what it has. So why I created the template file, because if I don't have the file, I was not able to create the new file with the variable value. So anyways, I created this template.txt file with one value called the my test column, nothing more than that. And this don't worry about that, this value will be overwritten. So we are going to read from this template file, and while we read and write to the sink, we are gonna put our variable value to this template and also change the name of it. So every time we can create a new file, maybe even with the date timestamp if we write expressions. But in my case, I'm not going to do that. So anyways, let's take this, I have a template file, create a container, let it sit there. So you will be keep using it. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to go to the Azure Data Factory and perform our demo. Let's open Azure Data Factory here and open a studio. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to the author here, and in the author, I'm going to go to the pipelines and creating a new pipeline. In this pipeline, what I'm going to name it, I'm going to name it PL string variable to file. Okay, that's what we are going to do. Now let's go ahead and take a look here in the, we click here in the white canvas, and we have variables. So I'm going to click on variable, and here in the variables I'm going to create a straightforward variable called my variable, and we are going to say Tech Brothers IT tutorials are awesome, and that you guys know that if they are or not, but I'm just making it. Now what you are gonna do, you're gonna write this value value of this variable to the file. So think about that. Here you could have like maybe set variables, you have append variables, you could have a lot of other activities. So in my case, if I want to do it, I can do it. Let's create that. Okay, so even you have a parameter, you have a new parameter, and you say my parameter, and in this parameter you save some value. This is my test parameter, and now what you did, you have maybe set variable here, and now you are setting the value of a variable from the parameter. Let's do that. Now here in my variable, and we are going to put the value of our my parameter. So whatever the value was there in the variable, that will be overwritten. So now what we have here, we can go ahead and debug, and yes, see right there, my parameter, that's my parameter value, and once I execute it, it is gonna change the value of my variable. So see right there, this is my test parameter, that's the value we got, and now we are all good here. See my variable, the name of my variable. So we actually set the variable. Just want to show you, like, you can set the variables, you can actually append the variable values as well. So at the end, once you have the final variable, that's what we are going to use it to create the file. So how I'm going to create the file, I'm going to use the copy activity here. So let me connect my set variable to the copy activity, and you guys know the name of the variable is my variable. Okay, and the value of this variable is coming from the parameter. Now go to the copy activity, and here you're going to go to the source. In the source, what you're going to do, you're going to go to the new and create a linked service at your blob storage, and hit continue, and in this case our file is a text file. It's a comma delimited file. Honestly, that file has no comma, no delimited, it has just one value. So anyways, it's okay to choose that because we are going to point to some template file. Here I'm going to go and create new and choose my subscription, my storage account, and test looks good. Create so let's call it blob storage is fine. Blob storage. Okay, so we created the linked service. Now we have to point to the our template file. I'm going to go to the input and the template.txt. So yes, the import schema is fine. First row has header, that is let's yes, okay, fine, I have it. Now yeah, hit okay. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to the additional column. That's where it is very important. So what you're going to do, you're going to add a new column. And in this value, what we are going to do, I'm going to call it my column. Okay. And I'm going to use the variable value. So I'm going to click right here, my variable. And now this is all good. Looks fine. And that's it. Now you're going to go to sync. And here you're going to go to new blob storage. Yes. And we are going to go to CSV, and then what we are going to do is select linked service that we just created, and we are not going to have header because we don't have any header. We are just going to put the value of a variable in this file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select the output container in this case. Okay, import schema from this is fine, and I'm going to hit OK. Now go to the open, and here you can provide the name of the file. In my case, I'm going to call it my variable value, and now you can say .txt, .csv, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Okay, so we are all good here. Let's go back to our pipeline, and in this pipeline, what we else we have to do, we have read source, that looks good. Now we did the sync, that looks fine. Now we are going to go to mapping, and here I'm going to click on import schemas, and once I do that, it's telling me, hey, this is your variable. Yes, it is, so and now my test column, see, that's the first column it brought it. Okay, so I don't need this guy because I am going to overwrite, so I'm going to just click right there and delete, and this is my second column, my column that we just added in the source, so we needed that one, and it is string type. And what is the name of your column? You can have column 1 because we are not writing any headers, so this value will not show up either. So we are all set here. We're going to go ahead and debug, and now see, this is my parameter value. It always asks me, so I'm going to write something. This is my first test in which parameter value is saved to variable and then written to file. Okay, so we are all good here. Hit OK, and now we are going to debug. So we can see right there, that's the value coming through, and this is the value of the variable. So our parameter value is set to the variable first, and now it should be written to the copy activity. You should write to the file. So let's go and take a look. Here I'm going to go to the blob storage right here. So see, in the containers, the input file is going to stay as it is. We just reference this file, so nothing changed in this file. So this is the, you see, it is still there. It's going to be there. We needed it. And then we are going to go back and go to the container called output. That's where the value is going to be. So click right there, edit, and there is no value. So what happened here? No idea. So let's go and refresh. Yeah, there is no value right there. So edit. Let me cancel this out. Let's go back here. Now where we made a mistake. So set value is coming through. This is coming through my variable. And then we have a copy. Yes, this value is coming my column. Okay, that's my column is there. Now what went wrong here in the destination? Let's see what happened here. So rows read 0. How? Okay, So even let's see what we did here. Go to source and then go to open, edit. Now, sorry, where I go now? Where I go now? Go to browse. You know, I'm trying to see if I can. First row has header. Yes, that's where if I can ignore that part because I don't want to have header. This is only one value. So let me see if that will help. Okay, let's rerun it. Okay. As I said that the first row is a header that might play the and there is no value. That's could be the one reason that it took over. So let's see. So now if I go back here, refresh, and you see that the value is coming through. Okay, so see right there, this is my test parameter. So this is all good. So just to repeat over, I had only one value sitting there, and first I created a parameter right there. In this parameter I just put the value whatever I wanted to put. Then I used I have a variable called my variable, and then that variable I set the value of this variable with the parameter value. Now in the copy activity, in the source side, I made a connection to the template file. So if I go right there and I made the connection to the template file, and the template file has it has only one value. So I just use that value without saying first row has header. Okay, and then I didn't do a whole lot there, and then I went back to the pipeline here and added a new column. It's called my column, and in that value I use the variable value. So once I use the variable here, then I went to the sink. In the sink I made the connection for destination. So you see there is I output container my test value. If I want to change to any other thing, like let's say if I want to change to CSV, so CSV, and I can call this one my output file. Okay, so I can do anything whatever I want. So naming is not a matter. I can actually write with the date time, so every time it create a new file, so it will do that. Now in here I did not make any change. Okay, the last step was very important where we went to mapping, and I import columns. So if I do that, see it brought this value. So as I said that there is no header, so it brought one with the string value. So I removed that. So I don't need that one. So I deleted that one, and I only left the column, additional column that I created in the source. So that is there. And in the sync, if you guys remember, I'm not saying that hey I have header row. So if you guys see right there, in both cases first row has header, no, because I just want to put the value there. So let's execute one more time, debug, and here I'm going to say this is my test one in which I am a writing value of this parameter to variable first and then to text CSV file. CSV file. Okay, so hit OK. Now it's going to run. First it's going to read the parameter value will be set to the variable value, and then a copy activity is going to work. So right there, see, that's the value. So it's going to be set, and now that should be completed. Let's go back here and take a look. So now we have this CSV file, and let's edit. So you see right there, this is my first, that's the value coming here, right? So this is how you will write the value of a variable, or even in this case, you can actually, as I said, that you can write a value of a parameter to the file, so it depends whatever the scenario comes through. So thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.